So how's it going, my comics at Armor? We're here today with Brandon Starocci, the creator of Avalon. How you doing, Brandon?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. So what have you been doing in the year we didn't talk?
I know it's been quite a bit of time since we've talked last and all that stuff. I think it was issue one. We talked last, right? So we have two issues out, physical issues out right now, up to issue three. Two more, I meant. Two more issues up until issue three, and we're working on our issues 4 and 5 Kickstarter. We kind of merged them together into one big Kickstarter.
Does that make it easier?
I don't know yet. Right now, it seemed like it, especially because one of our big goals for this year was to get 4 issues out for the whole year, every quarter, kind of release an issue. And with the way it's all structured right now, and talking to Demetrius and how he's finishing up all the artwork for both issues, it works out perfectly for us. So our goal is obviously to fulfill this Kickstarter and kind of go as planned this year.
Are you in comic shops yet?
Yes, we're in actually probably a good handful right now. Our local one for sure, a couple in Ohio, and we're trying to, because we're in Erie, we're right next to Erie and New York right now, so we're trying to also push out into New York area as well.
Try the Collective here in Florida.
The Collective in Florida?
Yeah, a lot of people say that they are awesome for Indycomics.
Okay, that's a good one. I appreciate that. I'll definitely have to try them as well, because obviously the more comic stores we're in, it appeases the eye and all that good stuff too, so that'd be awesome. I'll definitely try that one.
Yeah, I'll send it to you when we're done talking.
Yeah.
So since you combined the 2 books into one Kickstarter, is the funding goal smaller?
So the funding goal is actually a little bit more than the previous ones we did. We're looking for $2,500 right now, and I would say a good 80% of that is, maybe even a little bit more, is for the printing part of it, because we're doing the 2 standard covers, and then on top of that we're doing the 2 variant covers with each issue as well. So most of that money from that goal is just going right to the printing and getting it out there, and the shipping, of course, and then the rest of it is just to get it out there, market, put back into it, and maybe like the little things like the posters and all that stuff that we're also kind of doing with this Kickstarter, and getting all those unique kind of Kickstarter exclusive posters in there, and just getting into events and being able to show more people what we're about, so it's just a little bit more since we're doing the duo issue.
Well, Sid, if no one's seen our first interview, do you want to give them the elevator pitch?
Yeah, we could do that. Avalon is brand new, original post-apocalyptic story that has a little bit of something for everyone. You kind of follow the Castle family through this nightmarish world. There's a lot of drama already with the family before this apocalypse even starts. It kind of shows you the disarrangement that that they have as a family, and this, boom, you get an apocalypse, and now they have to deal with it. So it's about coming together, putting differences aside, and kind of working together to stay alive.
It's in black and white, right?
Yeah, black, white, and blood for the first 23 pages, and then each issue we're going to make the last page a splash of color, just so it kind of, just that big moment, that big impact moment, that last page, and kind of gets, puts everybody in that moment as it's happening, because the last 3 issues, they've been very big moments, and obviously we're going to be carrying on those moments as well with the next few issues, and we're excited for everybody to kind of see them and read them and see the story progression going forward.
Is the big color splash page in issue 5 or 4?
It'll be in all of them. Yeah. Each issue will have their big color splash at the back of the book there, and it's they're really good. And I'm excited for the next 2 big color splash issues or pages there as well.
How many of them do you have written out so far?
We have them fully done, written out up till 6. Callie, which is a new writer that we just added on for season 2, she was kind of helping. We're messing around with a couple of the issues that are really being written now. They're done. We're working on our season 2 right now. We have a set time in the next 2 months to just pound out the next 6 issues, which will be the season 2. So we'll get those done and all that stuff too. Because we're done with the scoping out the issue or the issues in the season. All we have to really do is script it at that point, and I found that to be the most fun part and the easier part to me, because as soon as you have everything blueprinted and all that good stuff, it's easy to just to follow the blueprint that you have and then kind of go from page 1 to 24 and then kind of move on from there. But we'll be doing that in the next 2 months here, getting those all written out, grinding to get all that done, and then move on to season 3.
So each season is going to be 6 books?
About 6 books, yeah. Give or take, depending on what the arc is going to kind of bring and all that stuff. But standard, it's going to be 6 books per arc, yeah.
So we're going to follow the same family all the way through?
Yeah, same family. You're gonna meet a lot of fun, awesome characters this next season. There's going to be a lot of people, and I don't want to give away too much, but there's a destination. You'll find out in the next 2 issues here that we're pushing right now. There's a destination that they're going to be going to, and with that destination, there's going to be a lot of characters people meet, and that's why one of our big kind of pushes with this Kickstarter is no one's ever going to feel left out in this kind of world that we're creating here, and so anybody can pick up this book and relate to any character, and that's going to be the fun part. And that's a fun direction that we're, when Callie jumped on this team and we were kind of figuring out how could we separate even more, because Avalon first 6 issues, we think we did a pretty good job of kind of separating ourselves from other zombie stories. But our first kind of get together when we were talking was to how do we do it even more, because and still hold the traditional value, because I'm a big traditional zombie fan, so I want to keep those values as well. But how do we separate ourselves from the others? We want to make ourselves new and original, which we already have, but even more so. The big capital letters.
Do you have fast zombies or slow zombies?
So the zombies that we have, basically, whatever physical ability your body has is going to be the physical ability that your infected version of you will be. You're not going to be superhuman. You're not going to be super slow. Whatever your physical ability is today, when you get infected, is going to be what that infected carries going forward. You're not going to be just sprinting down these people if you're just like, whatever. If you can't sprint fast and all that stuff too. But yeah.
I was just thinking about it. I got a 2-year-old, and just to see her running now is funny. So just imagine like her as a zombie running around,
Yeah, right. So it's not going to be like any thing like that, like you've seen with World War Z, where you can just start barreling over each other. It's just going to be, that's one of our things as well with Avalon, is trying to ground it in as much reality as we can in a fictional world that zombies are in. But way back then, before we even started the real writing process, Alan and I really were trying to look up so many different avenues or different infections, different viruses, all parasites, all that good stuff, and how we can kind of make our own and something that could happen. We made it so it was real things we were looking up and real diseases and all that stuff too, and it's a cool thing, and I know we're glad to have what we have.
Yeah, I think they got some bacteria or something that infects bugs and controls their bodies. You seen that one?
Have I seen that one? Of what?
The bacteria, I can't think of the name of it. I'll send you the video when we're done. But it
go ahead.
Infects their brains and stuff, and eats their body from the inside, and ends up killing the insect, and jumps to the next one.
Yeah, I think it's a parasite. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's a similar parasite that the Last of Us uses. I think, is that the one you're talking about?
Something like
that, where it just controls them, and then its goal is to kind of be eaten by a bigger host, and then take over, kind of live off of that host's body and all that stuff too. And I can't remember the exact name of it. It's not the exact one that we were kind of moving with this one, but it was definitely one when we were looking stuff up that was a big kind of, okay, and then we looked even deeper. So there's a lot of weird, fun things out there to use for this kind of genre. So that was definitely one of I remember reading stuff about that.
Do you use the word zombie at all?
Currently, no, and I'm not opposed to it. And again, all these, it's kind of hard to explain because we're in the beginning stages of this, because I don't want to spoil anything. So right. The world that we are in with Avalon, there's nothing, everything that we know here today, in real life, is in Avalon. So they know zombies, they know anything. They know zombies, your ghouls and goblins, you know what I mean? So it's not none of that doesn't exist. All of that stuff exists in the world of Avalon, bringing all the real life stuff into that. But nobody has called it that yet in the issues, but and again, not opposed to it either because all that stuff exists in the world of Avalon as well.
I guess if you're running from your life, you're not worried about naming something.
Oh, right. At this point, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any Comic Cons planned?
Yeah, we're going to the Cincinnati one in late September, and we're going to the Erie one, of course, because we're here, and beginning of September. We're looking to go to the Erie Horror Fest as well, which is in October, and we're reaching out to another one. I wanted to go to one that just happened. I cannot remember which one it was, but I was mad when I couldn't get. I wasn't able to do it, but yeah, we're working on getting on. At least I want to at least get 2 more Comic Cons this summer coming up and all that stuff, and and get out there more. So that's what my goal is right now, is get 2 more on the list, and then if we can get more, great, but at least 2 more. That's what I'm looking for.
Are you staying local?
Local-ish. So it's like if I see something in like Virginia or Baltimore or Illinois, I mean I'll go to it. So it's not like as long as I as long as I can afford it, I guess. I'm not going to be able to fly out to the West Coast or something like that right now, and stuff like that. But if it's somewhere that's affordable and I can make it happen, I'm not opposed to going anywhere far distance.
Have you did New York Comic Con yet?
No, I have not, but I was looking into that one this year, but I don't think it's possible this year, but I'm looking for it next year. I'm hoping to jump on the one next year for that.
How long is the wait list for them?
Very long, I guess. I was on a show not too long ago, and gentlemen, they actually live in New York, and they were talking about how he used to go every single year, and I think COVID he stopped, and then he got bumped to like the bottom of that wait list or something like that. So I know it's a pretty hefty one, so it's just going to be an attempt, I guess, next year, So as long as I want to put money and stuff aside for it and resources aside for it and attempt it, and if I get it, great. I just need to make sure I have all those avenues so I can at least get it if they give me the call.
Any comic store signings?
Yes, we've tried to do those, more local there, but we try to do those whenever an physical issue comes out. First and foremost, we go to our local one in Erie when the physical issues come out, and then within the next few months span after it comes out, like when issue 4 comes out physically, we will reach out to local comic places and all that stuff as well. And again, not opposed if some comic store were ever to be like, hey, we saw your stuff, we're interested to have you here and all that stuff too, 100%. I'd be willing to do it anywhere, but trying to kind of keeping it in a radius, because our goal last year was to be like, okay, we're coming out, public and all that stuff too, Erie. Then the next radius was kind of like the outskirts of Ohio and New York, and then going down toward Pittsburgh, and then now it's just going to keep expanding the radius. So, and again, never opposed to going anywhere else like Florida or North Carolina or anything like that.
So if anybody does want to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
Any social media platform, we're on all of them. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. If you find one of them, you can. Linktree is always attached to it as well, so you'll find all of them. It's just Avalon Comic on Facebook, 1282 Avalon Comic on Twitter, and Instagram is Avalon Comic as well. So there's a lot of ways to find us.
Okay. So, dead or alive, who would you like to make a comic book with?
I would still have to go with Robert Kirkman, I think. Because obviously The Walking Dead is a juggernaut of a series in the comic book world, and I love his kind of like sense of humor-ish too. Because when I found out that he like kind of was like producing Renfield and all that stuff too, when I saw Renfield, I didn't know it immediately. And I was like watching the trailer and all that stuff too. I was like, it's just like my kind of like, it's like corny, but it's like good fun. It's like I get it. It is what it is kind of movie. And when I found out he did it and all that stuff too, I was like, that's awesome. I didn't know he did that and had a piece of that and all that stuff too. But I love his sense of humor when I've seen interviews with him and all that stuff too. He seems like a fun guy and an intelligent guy at that. But that'd be a fun kind of time working on a comic with Robert Kirkman.
So would you create a new book? Or would you expand on something he's already done?
I would. I mean, first and foremost, I would probably be like, "Hey, do you want to create something new? And, an original, and all that stuff." But if he was like, "Hey, do you just want to do this with me?" and I would be like, "I mean, who am I?" I'd be like, "Oh, hell yeah!" You know what I mean? So just jump on the wagon there for a moment there.
Waiting for I think Invincible season 3 to come on.
Yeah, yeah. I still have yet to watch that series. I was reading some of the comic books too. I want to watch that series because I've heard nothing but great things about it. And it. I've said this, to even people here at home and all that stuff too. It's annoying because I want to watch all these shows. They're all on my list. But ever since I started Avalon and trying to get it out there, it just that's been taking 90% of my time. The 10% is or 5% is work. 5% is family. I gotta find a good kind of like direction on everything. Plan, scope everything out, and then when my downtime comes up, start knocking those shows off.
Um, let's see. Oh, what advice would you give to new creators?
The biggest thing I would say is just to keep doing it, because there's a lot of times where it's like it seems like things are going slow and things are going like, is this it for me and all that stuff. I mean, if you love it, if this is something that you love doing, writing in general or creating in general, just keep going. And no matter what, as long as you love it, just keep going through all the hards and the goods and all that stuff too, because I mean, things come, things go. It reassures you a little bit there, and then you get hit with like a small wall there, and then it brings you down for a moment. But overall, as long as you love what you're doing, you're just going to keep doing it. I've told people, no matter what, Avalon's going to be here for the rest of my life. Like I'm going to still write it, whether it's popular or not. It's just a part of me now and all that stuff too. It's a story that's within me, and I want to get it out on physical form and all that stuff too. The Kickstarters are great. They have that gives us the opportunity to get them out way faster than when we would be able to do if we weren't doing the Kickstarters. But no matter what, they would be coming out. Just if we were not fulfilling these goals in Kickstarter, they would just be coming out slower. If you know what I'm saying. So anybody who is a fan of it and who does enjoy Avalon, it will be there forever. Just need to kind of get the more eyes on it.
I forgot to ask you, are you running a Kickstarter now?
Yes, yeah. That the issue 4 and 5 one is what we're doing for the Kickstarter. Yep.
When does it end?
It ends June. I restarted my computer, so I think it's like the end of June is when it's ending here. I think there's less than. Literally just had it up. June 27th is when it ends.
That's more than 28. Yeah.
Yeah, we have 43 days to go. We extended the days a little bit more for a couple reasons. Obviously, we're doing the 2 issues. Give Demetrius a little bit more time, and we wanted it just to be out there a little bit more too, so people could see it, so people could see the name, and it gives us a reason to post every single day and hound people.
So there's really no risk in this, is there?
I mean, I guess you still always have the small risk where, okay, you don't really fulfill and all that stuff, but I mean, not really a risk to me. It's just, all it's doing is just delaying the issues and in that kind of way. Obviously it would be like a small, like I would take a hit on that a little bit, not like a hit like that, but it would just pause. It would just be a small, like, little delay. I'd have to just find another way and get it out sooner and all that stuff too, but not everything goes a part of the plan and all that stuff too, but right now we're rolling, we're moving and getting it out there. So we just need everybody else. We're where we're at today because everybody else who has backed us in the past and people like you, Cody, as well. Allowing us to come onto the show and talk about our project too. So we thank everybody who's pledged for rewards and thank you, Cody, for having us as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No. What I mean is, there's no risk for the backers. Like, as soon as you fund in mail.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. Yeah, so I mean, with the things that are out of our control, yeah, there's the risk. So, the shipping and all that stuff too, but it's going to be printed. One of the big, like, high pledges that we have is already here, which is a custom made. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah. So, Demetrius from Greece drew these with pencil and sent them over to me. I have them. It's signed on the bottom over here. And there's only going to be one of each one. It's a big 11 by 17 poster. That's one of the big pledges, and I have them. So there's no risk in that. There's no risk of trying to get it from Greece to the U.S. and all that good stuff. It's already here. But again, to tag on the risk on our end, Demetrius is practically done with issue 4. We're moving on 5. In the time being as well. These things are going to be done, in that time set. That was one of the important things I wanted to talk to him about before I even had this Kickstarter going, was do you think both issues will be out by October? And he said yes, but July is when 4 will be done. As soon as this Kickstarter is fulfilled, issue 4 will be sent out in July. You will get your hands on issue 4, and then by October, you will get your hands on issue 5.
All right, sweet. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, just same thing. I'll just touch on it again a little bit. Obviously, we wouldn't be here where we are. We wouldn't be where we are today without everybody who's backed us in the past. We ask that if you like us, if you've read our stuff and you like what we're doing and all that stuff, to share it around. Check out the rewards and all that stuff too. We have some good stuff coming out. Good pages, good story arcs. A big one that people learned in issue 1. With the tragic moment between one of the characters at the end of the comic, there is you're going to get the answer for that in the next 2 issues here. So that's pretty exciting for the first season, and yeah, just check us out and all that good stuff, and help us out too. We appreciate all of it.
All right, I appreciate you taking the time to come talk with me.
I appreciate you having me.
What? You mean you haven't subscribed to Comicchatauthority? Oh, come on, subscribe already. What are you waiting for? It's no big deal. Man, don't forget to tell him to hit that like button. Yeah, that too. Just subscribe.